Novak Djokovic's dream to win a record 25th Grand Slam title was crushed again as the former world number one retired from his semi-final clash against world number two Alexander Zverev. Djokovic's thigh injury forced him to forfeit the match after he lost a grueling first set. And with that, the Serb's controversial Australian Open campaign came to an end. Djokovic and the Australian Open is a prime example of a love-hate relationship, a Grand Slam that has given him so many highs. And at the same time, it's this city that has given him heartaches too. It started with Djokovic accusing Australia of poisoning him back in 2022. Then he got into a bit of a feud with the Australian broadcasters after one of them seemingly insulted him and his fans. The last, of course, came during his quarterfinal clash just a couple of days ago against world number three Carlos Alcaraz. While Djokovic emerged victorious, his thigh injury sparked a row. His opponent, Alcaraz, mocked the Serb for his medical timeout by copying and limping around, accusing him of faking his injury. It was unfortunately not just Alcaraz. Prominent voices across the tennis world, including legend John McEnroe, claimed Djokovic taking a medical timeout has become a bit of a regular occurrence. McEnroe went as far to accuse him of lying about his injury. And when such opinions get loud, then it only finds home across social media through strong reactions, tweets, and memes. Some of them getting a bit of a smile as well, even if you'd hate to. But Djokovic clearly was playing through pain because he couldn't even play beyond one set in the semi-final, giving up a berth in the final for what seems like the first time because of an injury.
I didn't hit a ball since Alcaraz's match. So until like an hour before today's match, I did everything I possibly can to basically manage the muscle tear that I had. But yeah, towards the end of that first set, I just started feeling more and more pain. It was too much, I guess, to handle.
And while Djokovic stayed silent and refused to respond to all of the backlash that he was receiving via commentators, players, and of course, the internet, his retirement probably was a fitting answer to all of them. The match was a shot at a record 25th Slam title, a place in the final, a feat that would have made him surpass Margaret Court. So he wouldn't have given up that easily with just one more left to go. Because it's not like he didn't try. He did his best. He tried to recover, didn't practice, didn't want to injure himself further, came out with a strapped leg, something he did during the Alcaraz match as well. But the semi-final against Zverev saw him pushing his limits.
I just wish this match today was a final. One of the most epic matches I've played on this court, any court. If I lost that second set, I don't know if I would continue playing.
So maybe he wasn't limping for fun. So what this does now is raise questions over everyone who mocked and accused Djokovic of faking that injury. John McEnroe, Alcaraz, many other prominent voices in tennis, and of course fans online. To think that a lot of that anger continued even after he decided he couldn't really go on with this match. The Serb wasn't given a proper send-off. Aussie fans booed him even as he was walking out of the court. And this wasn't the only instance where Djokovic has been booed. In fact, through the tournament, the Serb has only received hate. Now, I agree, Djokovic has fueled some of that hostility himself. The Poison Gate scandal, media tussle as well, but it felt like Djokovic has always looked to beat not just the player across the net, but also his anti-fans, many of whom probably saw him for the last time at Melbourne Park.
I want to keep going, but whether I'm going to have a revised schedule or not for the next year, I'm not sure. I normally like to come to Australia to play. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't come, but there's always a chance. Who knows? I'll just have to see how the season goes.
And if this indeed is going to be his last Australian Open, then maybe it is a sad farewell from Australia to an envious, illustrious career. He is the most successful player at the Rod Laver Arena, found little to no support from any quarter throughout the slam, barring the man he forfeit the match to.
Novak has done absolutely everything he could on the tennis court in the last 20 years. We should all just respect that in a way, because there is nobody in this sport's history who has won and who has done as much as him. We should stop blaming Novak.
Zverev himself, probably the last person to support anyone who's found on the wrong side of the fence, but he sure knows how a legend needed to be treated. A bitter end of a campaign that looked so very promising.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.